Look, I don't even know how to start this video, but fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. A lot has happened since I uploaded my last video. I should probably say what this is gonna be. This is gonna be an episode to get it off your chest. I'm gonna say it's the beginning and the end of a lot of my videos. So if you guys hear me say this twice during the video, I'm sorry if it annoys you, but we gotta eat, you know what I mean? We gotta eat. So yeah, like and subscribe, watch my other videos. I'm gonna link those in the description or put it up at the end of this video so you guys can go check those out. My last video was about 6ix9ine, well, 6ix9ine is really that bad of a guy. I get really into depth about that topic. It's a 9-minute long video. You guys can go check that out. But yeah, I've had some, I have a pretty interesting perspective on it, and for my opinion, because I feel like this whole 6ix9ine thing is being misconstrued. Like, people think that it's whatever. If you guys want to know more about that, it's in the video. Go check that out. This video is going to be a little bit different. This video is going to be about relationships. I've been back and forth for a while now about relationships and how I feel about them and how they affect me, and I just wanted to get a couple things off my chest. So yes, this is going to be an episode to get it off your chest. It's going to be in the title. I didn't start this video with that thing in my mind, but yes, remember, it's going to be a get it off your chest about relationships. Relationships are really, really complicated. You know, when you first get into a relationship, everything seems fine. It seems easy. You know, you love each other. You can't get enough of each other. And then after about probably like 5 or 6 months, sometimes even shorter than that, maybe 5 or 6 days or weeks after you guys quote unquote make it official, you start seeing things about this person that you didn't see before, or things that you thought were going to be temporary. You start to realize they might not be as temporary as you thought it was going to be. And that's the problem with new relationships. We all get into this fantasy that, okay, I'm in a relationship, you know, everything's fine, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, whatever, and this person's going to do whatever to make me happy. And the reality is that most of the time it's not like that. Even the happiest relationships, you know, have issues, you know what I mean? And the hardest part of a relationship is trying to make those issues work. But I think one of the biggest things that hits you in a relationship is when you realize that your partner might have certain issues, or an issue that, you know, really bothers you. And then when it hits you that, yo, this is legitimately a problem that has to be taken care of, is when relationships start to unravel. Because here's the thing, that people expect their partner to not only be responsible for their happiness, but to be responsible for for the partner to be responsible for that particular partner's own problems. And the reality is that, you know, it doesn't work like that. You guys have to work as a team, and in order to do that, communication is very important. There's a reason that they say communication is the foundation of a relationship, because when you're in a relationship with somebody and that person is going through something, or you're going through something, it is not your responsibility necessarily to fix their problems, but it is both of your responsibilities to communicate, hey, this is what's going on with me, and this is how I feel, and this is what I need. And that's one of the things that happen, because going back to my point about the issues that you discover during the course of the relationship, people realize, yo, this isn't going to change, and oftentimes those issues aren't even brought up until you're arguing or something's going on. And that's generally, and I always say this, I've been saying this more recently, in that if an issue is being brought up for the first time during an argument, then that's a sign of an issue with communication, because it shouldn't be brought up during an argument. It shouldn't be I had a problem with you, but I kept my mouth shut. That's not your partner's responsibility. Your responsibility is to articulate that to your partner, and then it becomes your partner's responsibility to either address the issue along with you, not on their own, or, you know, go about their day, go about their lives, and you guys go your separate ways. But again, what I've learned from my own relationships and relationships that I've seen, relationships that I've heard about, is that people generally tend to bottle things up within themselves instead of expressing that to their partner. Or if they do express it to their partner, it's expressed in a way where it's like, hey, this is what's going on, fix it. Or, hey, this is what's going on, you can't help me, leave me alone. both of those are not the best options when you want to be in a relationship with someone. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to handle a personal issue on your own outside of your relationship, but it has to be communicated that that's what's going on. And it has to be an actual issue that is being actually worked on, because if you just say that, but you don't actually work on yourself, all you're going to do is strain your relationship, because the issue is not going to go away, and it could easily bleed into your relationship. So yeah, like I did some self things, self-discovery, and reflecting upon myself and what I do, and I realized that I have anger issues. And I've also realized that in order to solve those anger issues, I need to, well, first of all, I know it's not going to be an overnight thing. I've always had anger issues. I've always had issues with that. But the thing is that when I get upset with someone, I do get this little sense of, like, I guess, entitlement that my opinion is correct and the other person is wrong, and they should shut up and listen to me. But here's the thing, even if you are right, even if you are making the most sense, it doesn't necessarily invalidate what the other person is saying. So the other person does deserve to be heard, regardless of how ridiculous you might think it sounds. Because generally what happens is I might not be as right as I think I am, and the other person might not be as wrong as I think that they are, and vice versa. So when I actually sit there and listen to this person and then take in the opinions, oftentimes I realize that we're both misunderstanding each other. You know what I mean? Because in my relationship, what would happen extremely often is we would argue, you know what I mean? And again, I have anger issues, so I shut her out, and I'll be like, fuck it, I'm right. And then she'll do the same exact thing that I'm doing, and then we'll go back and forth, and then it'll escalate to the point where I can't take it no more. And again, I am someone that's going to yell, I'm going to curse, I'm going to do all that if I'm very frustrated. And half the time, again, 99% of the time, I'm doing it to myself, because, again, I'm not stepping back and being like, hold up, what is this person trying to tell me? You know what I mean? There are definitely times where I'll step back and be like, hey, I'm trying to speak about this, and then things just fall apart regardless. But in that case, again, if you do that, if you try to speak to your partner, if you try to catch it somewhere in the middle, if you're trying to figure out where you guys are going, and then your partner is still not listening to you, or still just reiterating the same thing that they're saying with just slightly different words, then in that case, there's nothing you can do. It's not your fault, and that's something I've learned. Sometimes it's like you just gotta step back and be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? You can't always power through every argument, power through every disagreement, because it might not even always be because the person is whatever type of way. Sometimes the person, like for example, my relationship is like, the person I'm with is like, when she gets into a certain mood, it's like, it doesn't matter what I'm telling her, she's not gonna hear what I'm saying to her. So sometimes I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna pause. We're both gonna shut the fuck up for a minute. I have this thing. It's like when things get heated, just shut the fuck up. Both people shut the fuck up. And then take like 5-10 minutes, whatever you need to take, and then come back and then have another, and then resume the conversation in calmer demeanor. Because when you're less upset, it's easier to hear what the other person is saying and understand it. Not the person lacks the capacity or lacks the want to understand you. I mean, they might lack the want, but that comes from the anger. There's a lot of things that go into relationships. There's a lot of things that go into maintaining something with somebody who you actually legitimately care about, and it's difficult. Because again, if you feel like you're not being heard in a relationship, if you feel like you're not yourself in a relationship, that could very much lead to resentment. It could lead to a whole bunch of different things that can make things difficult for the both of you, and could affect not only your relationship, but also your relationship with your friends, your family. It can affect your academics, your work, all of that. And it's done all of that for me, so I have a whole bunch of experience with that case. But yeah, that's just, again, I might speak more about this later, but that's just what I have to say right now. I'm gonna upload a couple more videos today about some things going on in the media, a couple topics I wanted to talk about. But for this topic in particular, I got it off my chest. I got what I had to say. Like and subscribe. Do what you guys have to do. Thank you for listening. Bye.